Happy almost Halloween, everyone. This is Steve Samuel from Design Visionaries, and today I'd like to do a little artwork, if you will. I'd like to make a pumpkin house. This thing's going to be massive. It's going to be 18 feet high and about 30 feet wide, and it's going to have its own staircase and doorway, and it is a pumpkin, and so I think it's very advantageous to start with a basic drawing. You take the basic drawing and you figure out what the shape is going to be before you jump into sketching and extruding and all that stuff. And the basic drawing will be your guide to the modeling entities that are used. So I intend to use a swept freeform feature, and I want to pattern that in a circle, and I want to do a bunch of other things. And it should be fun. So once the sketch was completed, it was the hand sketch, that is, it was time to actually create the model. And so I started with a sketch. And in this case, I drew a box that was 30 foot by 18 foot, as you can see. And I just did a spline, and that was the sketch I used. And when I did that sketch, I created a variable, n, and in this case, n was 13. So n is what I used to do a circular array of the sketch pattern. So I patterned it. So here's that. Here's 2. Next, I did a datum plane that was halfway in between the bottom. It's roughly 9 feet tall. And on that datum plane, I did a sketch. And this sketch was created from an intersection point of the first sketch and the patterned curve. So I did intersection points there, and then I did a little dimension to make the pumpkin bulbous on its lobe. And then I did a swept. And I'm going to go to swept, and I'm going to select this section here. And my scaling method is going to be constant, fixed, right here, section, anywhere along. And then I'm going to do a guide string here. And then I'm going to say add new guide, and I'm going to do the other one, which is right there. And that is exactly how I got the lobe, if you will. Okay, so once I had that, then I did a circular array with n as my circle. Then I did a sketch for the stem. It just comes up like that. That's simple. I sewed everything together, and then I did a composite curve. I wanted to sweep a composite curve, this composite curve along there. But when I did it, it turned out that it didn't work. And I'll show you what happened. I did a sweep, and I selected all these connected curves right here. And I selected a guide string there. And I had scaling method constant. And look at what happens. It doesn't stay perpendicular to the guide curves it guides. And in order to make it happen, I decided I'd put another section here. So what I did was I patterned the composite curve. I just patterned it along this curve, the original curve. Okay. But I wanted it to taper. I wanted to go from big to small. So I used the scale curve function. See, in curve, all the way over here, there's scale curve. What you can do is select a bunch of curves, and you can specify a point about which you will scale them. And as you can see, you can scale them little or big. So that's the scale curve command. It's little known. And then I did the sweep. And the sweep was from one section all the way to this section with a twist. So it really looks like a pumpkin that I know. Then I made a datum plane right there, and I used that datum plane to trim off the stem. I trimmed off the stem so I could get a bounded plane on it like that. So now there's the bounded plane. And then I sewed it together to make a solid. Cool. So that is now a solid, which needs hollowing or shelling out, whatever you prefer. And since this is such a complex shape with all of this going on and these tight little curves, it would not shell, which gave me the opportunity to use another technique where I extract the body. So I get an exact duplicate, and then I start chopping away at it. So Control B. So what I did was I made an interior model. See the interior model? And then with the interior model, I offset it and I cut it down. I offset it with a negative offset. So this skin is forced inward. And then I did a subtract. And finally I had this. Just like that. Okay, so those are really, really powerful techniques that I wouldn't want to be without. And now I can go ahead and make the openings for the windows and the doors. And the windows and the doors can be drawn on the main coordinate system. So datum ceases, show the datum ceases. So right here on the XY plane, we can make what we need. I'm going to do an extrude. Select that plane. And I'm going to make some nice windows. So this one's going to be here. Like that. And I'm going to make a line segment that goes from center to there. Also, I can mirror this about there. And then I can close it like that. And then I can mirror it about the center line. And I can put in a door. The door is going to be centralized as well. So we're centering maybe that line with that point there. All right, that's slick. I'd like a nice 36-inch door. I'd like it to be 7. Let's do a little thing here. Let's put in a line segment that represents second floor. This should be about 8 feet high and 9 feet high. So we're dimensioning there to there. Let's call that 8FT. Oh, good. Okay. So the windows are too high. Let's say the windows are 36 inches off of the top of the flooring. Let's give it 8-inch thick floor and ceiling. And let's take this guy and dimension him up. Let's give it 50-inch windows by 70. And let's put them 36 inches away from the top of the floor. There we go. So now the door is way too high. I'm going to say the door should be 7'5", 7 FT plus 5. There's the door. The door is going to be 40 inches wide. It's a better door. 7'5". Let's make this a little higher. We'll have to go and say make constant, and let's make it 99. All right. So now we have our openings. This and this are just there to position other geometry. And say finish. And now we extrude that straight through. Subtract. Nice. Very nice. Oh, the floor is too low. Let's adjust that. How'd that happen? Let's see. Yeah, the floor is way too low. So this floor, let's go into the sketcher. And let's take this and shake it. Oh, oh, there it goes. I took that off of there like that by shaking. And let's do a dimension from there to there. So that's 8 inches. This goes on here. This goes on here. It's not cooperating, so I'm going to extend it like that. And I'm going to trim, trim, trim. There we go. Trim over here. There we go. Let's adjust the height. It's 105 now. This one is 7'5". Okay, it's much better. Needs a staircase inside. So that's my next challenge. In order to make the windows and doors, I'm using the initial sketch that was used to cut out the shapes. As you can see it here, I did do a make sketch external in order to get there. But here we go. So let's put this up here. I don't know why I did that. So now I'm going to make a window. I'm going to do it with an extrude. And I'll connect all these curves. There you go. So our window is going to look like that. There it is. And I've got to extrude again. The windows, so we need to shell them out. My door is 4 inches thick. I'd like a nice little stair or a landing. You step down 7 inches. I'll position it just under the door. I'll center it. There. And extrude. So now that I've got the basics on this model, I need to add in the doors, staircase, second floor. And so I'm going to go into the tool that's called BIM Design. And this is great. Now BIM Design has some nice little libraries. And one of the libraries is the smart door, or one of the things I can drag in is the smart door. So I hold my left mouse on it and I pull it in, and there's the door. And I'll put the constraints on it because it comes in as a component. I want the preview, and I want to do a touch. So I'm going to touch this face to that face there. And I'm going to do a center 2 to 2, center 2 to 2, so that this portion of the door and that portion of the door is centered about that portion and that portion. And finally, I'm going to move this up a little bit. I'm going to do a touch between the top of the stair and the bottom of the door frame. So we can go to the stairs. I think I'd like a spiral staircase in there. So there's that. I can change all the risers, all the information on the risers, the ladder length, all of that. I think I'll just use it as is, just to show you that it can be done. I'll say okay like that. Preview window. This one, I'm just going to do a touch between the face there and the face inside. And just say okay. I'm just going to leave it there for a little while. And now I'm going to go back into modeling. It's nice, and say Control H. And I'm going to cut the back off of it like that, so that I can make the staircase, make the second story. I'm going to move the component in, put it in place. I think I'll put it kind of in front of the doorway, so anybody coming into the building will see this beautiful staircase and they'll know exactly where to go to get upstairs. So there's that. I want the staircase approximately there. And now I want to make the floor, second story, a nice maybe loft area, if you will. So I will navigate back to pumpkin. I'll say home more, wave geometry linker. And I'll grab this little face right here. And that will be my guide to making the second story. I'll turn these off like that. And I'll put a sketch on here. Nice. I'll take away the section, unclip. And no, I better clip it. Clip. Okay. And let's do a include. And I'm going to make a little rectangle. It's going to go out here like this. And I'm going to extrude that rectangle. It's going to go from 0 to -8. And Control H. Just drag it back. Let's rotate it around. Okay. So that's how the spiral staircase goes up to the second story. The second story wants to be part of the wall, but we need to trim it, and so we'll take that extrude and take the sketch and pull it out this way, like that way. Say finish. And then when we do the unite, we'll unite this and this, but we'll go with define regions, and we'll remove the part that's sticking out. That's always a very powerful command. So now we have a loft area. We've got windows. And we've got the door. Oh, we've got to make a hole for the door. So let's go back to the door. And let's go to extrude. I think we need to do a wave geometry linker. We could use a composite curve. And we can select the interior edges of the door jamb. That's this one. This one. Rotate it a little bit. Not that one. Hold your finger on the shift key and select the edge. Edge. One more edge. Edge. It's okay. Extrude, connected curves. Here, let's get them this way. So we're extruding that bunch of composite curves there. And we're shooting it through the little wall that we made. Subtract. There we go. And let's put a little overhang for anybody who's coming to visit. So we need a datum plane that's in the center of here and there. And we need to extrude off of that datum plane with a symmetric. Oh, it's not getting it. Hold on. Let's try it again. Here, sometimes it's better to just sketch. And we're sketching on that datum plane, but we want a horizontal reference that looks like this. There we go. And we want to develop an overhang, protect people in the rain. So we're going to go like that and come out over the landing. Let's go back in here, come down, there. And we're going to extrude that symmetrically. There we go. How about some columns? Like so. A little line segment. Midpoint it. We're going to mirror it. Mirror this geometry. And we're going to extrude it straight up. You can unite it all together. And here we go. Let's get rid of the clipping. View, unclip. Very nice. My name is Steve Samuel from Design Visionaries. Hopefully you've learned a few little techniques from this rather long Halloween video, pre-Halloween video. And if you like it, please give it a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next movie.